Good morning or afternoon or whatever. It is currently 10:29 a.m. Friday, September 30, 2016. This is likely going to be split up into two videos, what I'm doing today. And the reason being is the subject is not easily done without some empirical footage. So what I'm going to be talking about today is stadium etiquette and going to a Boise State game, and I was not lucky enough to get tickets for it. And you'll see random yahoo running around. That's actually totally normal to the college experience, as it turns out. Those who have been who know. So we're going to talk about the different areas of Bronco Stadium, and I'll get to that naming thing here in a moment. But we've got a few different distinct parts of the stadium, and there are some nuances in between them and some hierarchical stuff that you would probably want to be aware of. Now, we'll start with what is probably just beyond that brick pylon right over there. You could barely see it. Well, I'll probably include like a I'll probably include a better shot of it later here in the video. Probably detach the audio and stuff, but it's called the South End Zone, and it is one of the more important sections of a game, and maybe we'll be talking about it later. But when you arrive, if you get tickets and you arrive there, you had better be using full volume, not your outside voice or not anything that you normally use. No, you've got to use more than that. You've got to use your full lung capacity when just speaking to each other. You've got to make sure that when the situation calls for it there, because there's 4 hours a game almost. When it's third down and for the visitor, got to make sure you got it all. Now, zoom out a little bit here, and probably the place that we'll want to talk now you'll rarely get to go through there during the game, but the Allen Noble Hall of Fame, another important area, just for reference. Now, up there is the Stucco Sky Center. It is you're a very, very lucky and well-to-do person if you ever get to enjoy a game from up there, because not only do you get to view games and stuff from up there, but it's also catered, and there's a buffet usually, and also when there are not games, there's usually some sort of party up there. So we got other stuff going on a lot of times during the game day. Now, this is the first conference game of the season, and I believe it's the first one that's going to be on ESPN, so we've got like trucks and whatnot, if you can see them in the background. Also, right there in that shot is the Bronco shop at the stadium. Very good place to get Bronco gear and whatnot. Now, right off over there, that is the Kevin Williams Sports Complex. It's the practice facility that is used a lot of the time. The turf in there is not actually blue. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to actually prove that or not, but today, because not only is that probably being used for practice right now, it's rarely open to the public. So we're going to take a cut here and see if we can get into the Allen Noble Hall of Fame for some other stuff. I'll see you in a sec. One quick bit I was not actually expecting to capture today was a lot of the stuff that's actually here during a game day, during random tailgating related items. A lot of different vendors and whatnot will be here for occupying different tents and whatnot. So a lot of activity, a lot of massive humanity will be going through this very area. And there's that new statue of Lyle Smith, the great football coach, and a lot of different things. Now, also, a local radio station will be they usually broadcast from there, and looks like they're setting up again. But usually when you're here on the game day, there's going to be a ton of people here. Like, you probably won't actually see the bases of these trees through here. Like, there's just going to be a lot of people coming back and forth through here. That's why they've got the barricades like that through here. Also, some tailgating, some other tailgating stuff going on with those tents right over there. That's usual spot for that kind of thing during a game day. Here we are at the other side of the Bronco Sky Center there, and you can see how you'll both be able to look at a game and probably be catered up there. I mean, it's just a whole closed-off thing up there. Yeah, they got the press thing, and if you can, let's see if I can zoom in on it real closely. Is that tent right there is where the camera is actually angled from. Like, that is where the camera sits when you look at a game, you know, from a TV or later a YouTube clip or something. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. Now, on the rest of the west side here, we've got the upper deck and the lower deck. And the upper deck, I've been to many times, of course. It's a lot of regular Joes up there, but also some comped tickets and sponsorship stuff and whatnot up there too.
I like the vantage point up better.
Yeah, it's a great place to actually see the game from. Now, right below, you see all of these orange seats, but some of them out in like the middle there, those are hard orange seats, and those are those have all got little name plaques and whatnot on them, because people, you know, very big contributors and sponsors to the Bronco Athletic Association. So that's and you can't really see it too well, but during the winter time, for the winter time, they have these heaters that are installed just above there, and there's nothing really like that in any of the rest of the regular seating outside. I mean, for anything else heated, you have to go up there to the Bronco Sky Center. Now, another thing I'm just gonna pause a moment on is that little tiny sliver of a section out there, and that is usually where the visitor section is. You know, the visiting fans, you know, BYU, and this week it's Utah State and Idaho State, and all those recent visitors and whatnot. They usually have a load of tickets that are specifically from there. Now, we'll just pan a little bit more to see another very important section.
All right.
But yeah, there's the north end zone. It's usually general admission, but there are some season ticket holders and whatnot over there too. Now, the entire little west, that's east wing of there is where the Keith Stein Blue Thunder Marching Band usually sits. Now, it used to be over where the student section is, and we'll get to that in a second, but usually when you're hearing that band on the TV, that is where they're coming from, is exactly right over there. And one little thing that I was not expecting to see today, but right there, you can see that dog running across back and forth. Is kind of a unique feature to Boise State football. The Z-Dog, sponsored by the local business Zamzows. If in case you're unfamiliar, this dog, you know, whenever there's a kickoff, from one end of the field or the other, there's the football tee, and that tee then has to get retrieved during essentially during gameplay, and it has to be done very quickly. And different teams handle this different ways, but Boise State has this well-trained dog, who apparently is very, very happy to do it, retrieve the football tee, which is a very interesting thing to see. Sometimes they show it on the TV, sometimes they don't. But yeah, there we are with north end of things. I thought I was going to be able to get a better angle from here, but as it turns out, this big blue building right here is in the way. Well, more signs of the impending home game coming up. So, with all of those cars that you see right there, in their place there's going to be a lot of vans, RVs, and other converted vehicles, and all the mass of blue and orange and revelry you'll really ever see. It's actually quite a thing to behold, all the tailgating that happens here, and all the fans who are very good partiers, but also very good people. But yeah, it is definitely a thing to come and visit, you know, and it's definitely a thing to come and do if you ever want to actually be a Bronco. This is very much a how to be a Bronco thing, is that you participate in what goes on in that very lot that I'm pointing at right there, right in there. Definitely be a part of that if you want to be a Bronco. Anyway, this is another vantage point of the parking lot, and like I said in that last shot, imagine all of these cars replaced with like vans and RVs and all kinds of tailgating tents and gear, and that is what you'll see, and you'll see a mass of people just going in, ebbing in and out of all the different places here. It's something very, very awesome to see. Definitely go do it. What I'm pointing at now is mostly the student section. Now this one is actually a bit of controversy these years, and the reason being is that
They need to stay for the whole dang game.
yeah, it's essentially that. Is that often, especially in the upper deck, students do not stay for the whole game, and there could be any variety of reasons for this. However, stating those will also, get into a very heated discussion about it, about staying for the whole game, and if you can't stay for the whole game, well then why did you take a ticket? That kind of argument. I'll back out.
Okay, thank you.
Now, I can't get it from this angle too well, but in fact, I'll take a cut right here, and we'll find a better shot for it. Because of the time of day, I'm kind of forced to hold my hand here so it doesn't get completely whitewashed. But that right there is the south end zone, and how I was talking about it earlier, about it being, you've got to be very loud. And right here at the bottom level, right above the sponsor signs, Learfield, Les Schwab, and Famous Potatoes, etc. There are a lot of the crazies. There's 4 dudes who dress up in an Elvis-themed costume with blue hair. Blue elves, as they're good guys, along with a pimp-themed guy. Emilio's a good guy too, and a lot of other suited and face-painted crazies that are right just there on that bottom level. And if you ever hold on a sec. If you were ever invited to be with these people during a game, during any game really here, please accept that invitation, because it's a great experience. You will not regret it. So far, we've talked about all the different areas that we talked about viewing the blue from, and well, mostly everybody gets along with each other, and that is something very important, is that you get along. But more to the point is that people are going to stand up and sit down and have signs and whatnot, and you need to understand that if you're going to be at a game here, you really shouldn't begrudge people for being fans at a game. That's extremely short-sighted and needless. Video board also very, very important for different random things that you don't see during the game. Well, when the game is actually on the TV. A lot of media break stuff and whatnot. And right off, and I almost skipped this, but that right there, that is, nobody actually watches a game from that, but what that is that that's some of the offices and whatnot from the specifically the football staff out there. Yeah. If you ever get the chance to go in there, definitely take it. Definitely take the chance. It's worth it. Now, as far as any material I've had to miss, it's kind of on purpose, because it would much better be served if it were done on an actual game day. And that may happen sometime soon this season, maybe next, but someday that will actually happen. But for now, y'all have a good day.